Welcome to the Houston Roundball Review TAKEOVER on the lunch break, powered by JM&E and also the BS3 Network. I am KG Chris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. Got an action-packed 55 minutes for you this afternoon on your lunch break. Thank you for taking time to join me. If you have your Roku streaming device, just download BS3 TV. If you don't, you can go to bs3network.com or bs3tvlive.com. Oh, about an hour or so ago, maybe 2 hours now, the Big 12 announced something pretty cool, I think. Check it out. The Big 12 introduces the Muhammad Ali inspired shooting shirts to debut during the conference's celebration of Black History Month. This quote from the great one, the greatest: "If your dreams don't scare you, they aren't big enough," will appear on the shooting shirts for the men's and women's basketball players in select games this month of Black History Month. To celebrate the start of Black History Month, the Big 12 Conference is partnering with Muhammad Ali Enterprises to introduce an Ali-inspired shooting shirt. Each Big 12 men's and women's basketball team will don the shooting shirt during warm-ups of select games in February. Each shooting shirt prominently features Ali's celebrated mantra, "If your dreams don't scare you, they aren't big enough." Muhammad Ali was not only one of the greatest boxers of all time, but also a true world ambassador. That quote is from J.J. Quinterly, West Virginia basketball best player, guard for West Virginia women's hoops. Not only will it be an honor to wear a shooting shirt with his mantra on it, but its true meaning is what every person should live by and strive to achieve. I can't wait to wear it and to continue honoring his legacy. End quote. Commissioner Yormark, as the Big 12 Conference begins our celebration of Black History Month, we're thrilled to partner with Muhammad Ali Enterprises to provide these shooting shirts for each of our basketball programs. We will continue to honor the achievements by African Americans across college athletics and throughout our history as a whole. End quote. Quote from the president and CMO of Authentic Brands Group, Nick Woodhouse: "Muhammad Ali's legacy carries on through today's rising athletes. We're honored to celebrate these college athletes in partnership with the Big 12 Conference during Black History Month and every day." End quote. The Big 12 and the Muhammad Ali apparel is available for fans to purchase at fanatics.com. Each purchase supports the McClendon Foundation and their goal of fostering access and opportunity for minorities through scholarships and leadership initiatives. And I'm also happy to say I am an affiliate, a website affiliate where the Houston Roundball Review website is an affiliate of fanatics.com. So if you want to, you can go visit the link posted on my website and blogs at fanatics.com and buy the merch that way. And I do receive a nominal fee from that, nominal commission. So it's all good for everyone. Miss Wanda, thank you very much for chiming in. Thank you very good to see you. Rex 32, he says it right there. Brett Yormark continues to improve the brand. Indeed. Going to touch on it. Should have Lamar head coach of men's hoops, Alvin Brooks, joining me momentarily. And then a special guest joining me at the bottom of the hour, very last minute, to discuss his team's road win in the FedEx Forum Wednesday night over the Memphis Tigers. If you don't know who I'm talking about or what I'm talking about, the Rice Owls men's basketball team defeated Memphis Wednesday night 74-71 to hand Memphis its fourth straight loss. Rice improves to 2-6 in the American. Tigers are 4-4 in the American. So it's all good in the hood. So as Rex said, he kind of put it out there. He called that, well, you said you hoped Rice beats Memphis. That's what he's kind of said, Rex, if I remember right. But Rice led for 30-plus minutes of the game, Memphis made a run and took a lead in the last about 3 minutes and change left, but Rice did not fold, and they got the job done and got the victory, made free throws down the stretch, including 2 free throws, clutch free throws by Keanu Dawes, freshman Keanu Dawes, two-time finalist of the Guy V. Lewis Award that goes to the top boys high school player in the greater Houston area. So salute and kudos to KD for doing that. Rice Owl's big man Max Fiedler accomplished this, added to his historic book of achievements at Rice. And like the last 30 years, became the first college player in men's hoops to have 1,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, 500 assists, and I want to say like 200 blocks, something else. Max Fiedler, he's a talented young man, and he's a great hooper and a better student and a better man. So he's been blessed on all kinds of levels. So salute to Big Max for what he did, and Travis Evie, point guard, and the Rice players for getting it done, winning in Memphis. I doubt I'm going to hear anything from Memphis Tigers fans for a while. You know, they were living, I guess, Houston was living in their head for a while, rent free. They have nothing to say to us now. The city of Houston, thanks to Rice putting it on them and just keeping it going. And, you know, but anyway, I digress on all that. But yes, kudos to Coach Scott Pera and his Rice men's team for winning 74-71 on the road in Memphis Wednesday night to hand the Tigers loss number 4 in a row. Such a shame. What a shame. But got some things to talk about, obviously. This Saturday afternoon, 3 o'clock, the Houston Cougars men's basketball team on the road, Allen Fieldhouse versus Kansas Jayhawks. Let's see, that'll be 1 in the net, as the Cougars are 1 in the net, as we all know. KU is now 13 in the net, so clearly a Q1 opportunity for the Cougs to win on the road. Look for head coach Kelvin Sampson's media session to be posted on the Houston Athletics YouTube channel within the hour. He just got through talking to us about 11:55. So I went right from coach's press conference to the show, to the takeover, to talk with the fans about hoops. So it's great. We're looking forward to that matchup. And that a couple of reasons why I wanted to have Coach Brooks on. One, to talk about the success that he and his squad is having this season. They're 6-2 in the Southern Conference. And I'll ask him when he joins, but I want to say that 6-2 record is like their best record in 20 years or something like that. So get him on and talk about his Lamar Cardinals. And then as well, get his thoughts on the matchup between the Cougs and Kansas, because Coach Brooks does know basketball. It's his life. He's been part of it for a long, long time. So I want to pick his brain about that as well. But without further ado, bringing in Lamar head coach Alvin Brooks. Coach, how you doing?
I'm good, Chris. How you doing, man? I appreciate you having me on. Thanks for having me. I'm not as tech savvy, so I had to get my one of my assistants, IT guys, to come and help me get on this stream with you.
Coach, no problem. I'm glad. You know, you're a big enough man to ask for help. So it's all good with that. But let's get into it. Lamar is 6-2 in conference.
Right.
And how's it been done? How you got it done so far?
Man, we've been blessed, very blessed that we were able to return 8 players. And it's the first time I've had returners in my 3 years here. When I first got here, we were very small across the board at every position. Injuries kind of derailed us first couple of years. We played with 7 guys a lot of times. So, we have a full complement of rosters, full complemented roster with size at the guard spot and in the front line. I play regularly 10 guys. And so we're able to play faster style of basketball, extend our defensive presence 90 feet, 94 feet. And then we we play fast offensively. We got the number one offense in the Southland Conference, and actually, offensively, we're 25th in scoring in college basketball right now. So at about 81.5 points a game. So that's a far cry from what we averaged last year at 63 or 64 points a game. And so we've done it with multiple guys, so we don't have to depend on one guy. And so we've gotten off to a good start. We started the Southland Conference play at 3-0, which was the best start in 24, 25 years, over 2 decades. So which is hard to believe because when I was here before, we won at that level on a regular basis. And so I'm just blessed that we were able to get the right guys to where we can implement our style and where we can play the way we like to play. We're 6-2 in league play now. We play at Texas A&M Corpus Christi this Saturday afternoon. And that'll finish up the first half of conference play, the first 9 games. Then we're ready for the last 9. But I think that we got people excited because we're playing an exciting brand of basketball. Guys play fast, they play hard, they play for each other. And, that is kind of what I envisioned when I first got here. And, I think it's a good spot to be in because, we've had a lot of updates as you and I talked about before, at the Montaigne Center is now called Nature's Arena with the donation from Nature's Credit Union. And so we got a new court, new scoreboard, new lighting, new sound system. It looks like a completely different arena. And so we got a lot of good, cool things going on here, and I like to see it. It's kind of like it was when I was at Houston when when Coach Sampson came. You saw, we started winning, but you also saw the change in the program. Went from Hawthorne to Fertitta, the Guy V. Lewis facility, the development facility. That there's a lot of good things were happening there, as they are still. So we creating a good buzz around here. It's going good. We got a lot of basketball to play, but I like where we are.
Coach, Lamar had a game in H-Town against Houston Christian on a Saturday. And I think the Cougars were playing at home at UCF. That's why I couldn't make it over to Sharp Gym. But y'all lost on a buzzer beater.
We did.
And then you won, 2 or 3 in a row since that loss?
3 in a row, yep. Since that time, we've won 3 in a row since that time. So,
what was the vibe? Losing on a buzzer beater is always tough, but what did you tell your players after that to get them back on the right track?
I told them, that for going into that game, Ron Cottrell, who's been there for a long time, good man, really good basketball coach, and that game was dedicated to Darius Lee, the kid that passed away a couple of years ago. It was called the Darius Lee Memorial Classic. And he will have his guys ready to play. They always competitive. And so I'd say it's going to be a very difficult game. And so that game had, as I recall, 20 lead changes.
Wow.
It was a very competitive game. And so we were up 2, going into the last few seconds of the game. And the kid hit a very tough, difficult shot against 2 of my guys. From behind the 3-point line. And you have to give him credit. Your kid hit some tough shots, and so it went in. We did have it was like 1.2 on the clock to go the length of the court to try to get one up. And we actually went the length of the court, threw a long pass when my big kid caught it, turned around, and just missed it right at the buzzer. So we lost that one by 1. But as I told them, hey, that conference games are tough no matter what league you're in. And it is a marathon. So, we stole a road game at Nichols, won Nichols in overtime, lost at McNeese, but we've got to protect home and try to get some more on the road. So this doesn't knock us out the race. So, we had a home game that Monday night against Texas A&M Commerce, who had just won on the road by 16 at Southeast Louisiana. So we got to flip it and turn around real quick. Our focus has to be our next opponent. Focus on what's in front of us. And we did that and won that game. And what was most impressive, we played that game without Adam Hamilton, our starting big. He tweaked his ankle and could not play. So some other guys stepped up and we won that game. And so then we turned around and had a couple more games this past weekend and played Monday night against University of New Orleans and got a good win there. And so we've won 3 in a row since that time. And so now we go on the road with a chance to play against a really good Corpus Christi team that's tied for second in the league, like us. And then we'll have be off that Monday because our games are Saturday, Monday, you know. And so I think I think we're in a good position, Chris. I like our team. Um, we've competed against some teams like Southeast Louisiana's got a well coached good team. We played them right Saturday and then played New Orleans on Monday. But Southeast was preseason favorite to pick to win the league, so they've got a good team. So we were able to beat them at home. And then for our guys, we were picked ninth, and I knew we were not be ninth. We had a much better team than that, but not a lot of people knew what we had. We had 8 guys returning, and then we brought in three portal guys, 3 transfer guys that have helped us a lot. So we're no longer small. We're no longer we're a bigger team. We're no longer like last year. We were like out of 363 teams, I think we were 361 or 362 in terms of experience.
Wow.
And so now we're a much more experienced team. We're not young anymore, and so we've got a chance to compete for a conference tournament championship and a conference title because we're just halfway through it. So, McNeese sits at 8-0, and they've got a good team. They're getting top 25 votes, and so I think that's great for our league. But we'll wait done over there. We'll still have a chance to play them here. And of course, we'll have to play in Corpus Christi twice. We'll play them there this Saturday, and they'll come to us later. But it's an exciting conference race, man. It was a blessing to be at my hometown school, University of Houston, and do what I could to help there. And now I'm at my home school, which is where I played and started coaching. So I'm enjoying it, man. Very blessed.
Does every conference member qualify for the tournament, or is it just like 8?
No, just the top 8.
Okay.
Just the top 8. So and so we've got to keep competing and keep getting better. Obviously, the conference champion, which is would be the number 1 seed, and the runner-up, which is the 2 seed, both get buys into the semifinal.
Oh wow! Okay.
Right. So there's a lot of incentive, to continue to get better and play well. And for us, we're playing well enough to win, but we're not playing our best basketball right now. We still got some guys that are developing and getting better. That's what I like about our team. We're playing hard, and we're playing well enough together. But there's just a few things. Like, for example, our 3-point field goal percentage defense wasn't at a level where you could win the tournament. In the last 3 games, we've tweaked, corrected that, and so now our field goal percentage defenses have been about 29%, holding teams 29%, and so that's better. At one time, we were turning the basketball over a little bit too much, and so we've gotten that down, and we're taking care of the ball a lot better. We're defending without fouling. We're doing a lot of different things that we're slowly kind of getting better. And as a unit, though, as a group, we're still getting to where we completely comfortable and experienced at all of the scenarios that you face in a game, like a late game situation, as a group. So we're getting comfortable with that. And and as we continue to do that, we'll continue to get better. And, you want to be playing your best basketball in March, late February, March. And so today's February 1st. And, it's not always you can say that, you've won some games. We've already surpassed any win total we've had here in a while. I mean, the year before I got here, they won 10 games. The year before I got here, my first year, we didn't win but a couple. Last year, 9. Already we're at 12 this year and still counting. And so we're off to a good start. So we're going to continue to work to get better. And so we're on the right track right now. Every time we step on the floor, my guys have great belief that we're going to win, which is
excellent.
And that's the culture we want to build. It's about Lamar. It's about us. It's about how hard we play, how well we play together, and how connected we are. And doing it with a lot of energy, have a little fun doing it. So we're doing that.
With the success so far this season, are you getting more interest, responses from the high school kids in the area, high school hoopers?
We are. We do have two good high school players that we signed that are from the Houston area. JJ Gambrell, that's at Madison
Mhm.
High School. He's already signed. Good player. This Braden East, 6'9", about 235, out at Stafford High School. So those two guys have already signed with us. But beyond that, we're just looking at older guys. To be honest with you, right now,
Okay.
because we end up, my first couple of years here, we had, like last year, we put on the floor a lot of time 4 19-year-olds, and they playing against guys that are 22 and 23 years of age. That's just not a good mix to try to get a win with young boys
Right.
playing against grown men.
Mhm.
So we're older now, and so for us to be, we return. We only have one senior,
Okay.
and
Okay.
and Chris Pryor, our point guard, is our only senior. And so we got the two high school kids from Houston coming in. We're probably going to add, some experience to that, if we can, maybe just an experienced point guard to add to the mix. And that's really about all we need. We don't need much. And
Question
in this
from
day and age, I say that cautiously because
right. Of course,
yeah,
I understand.
yeah, yeah, that's the guys transfer now and they're able to go play right away, and you just never know. So we just have to assess where we are um, come March. And if they've changed the NCAA recruiting calendar, you would always be able to go out in April and recruit.
Right.
Well, this April they've changed it because all the coaches will complain about not being able to recruit your own guys and get guys from the portal to come to your place. So April won't be a recruiting month this year for the first time,
Yeah.
and so it'll be an event in May. So um, my focus will be on retaining the guys we have because we got good players right now. We got good players.
Question from the audience: how's the game day atmosphere?
It
Not
is
that you guys are
much.
winning.
It is much improved. It is much improved. It's the crowds have been a little bit better, um, and it's like everything else. Like I'm in Houston. You need to win and you need to play an exciting brand of basketball. So we're doing both now. We've won 6 straight games at home, and we lost the one game we lost at home. We lost that at the buzzer. We were up to Southern Miss, who won the Sun Belt last year
Mhm.
and is in first place this year. Gave James Madison, who a top 25 team, their first loss. But we had them on the ropes, and we were up 2 with like 40 some seconds of play, and they kind of got out of a pick and roll situation. I can remember clearly, hit one of the guys in the corner for a contested three, and we ended up losing that in a close game. But so people here are excited because we're playing exciting brand of basketball. So the atmosphere has improved a ton. Our marketing team has done a great job of getting people in the stands and getting our students here on campus to come. So it's just gotten a lot better, man. Our athletic director tweeted out last week that our ticket sales for men's basketball are up 101%.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, up
Excellent.
101%. And actually, we played New Orleans on Monday night. I think they told me we sold 50 tickets that night for the McNeese game, which is later on in February. So we're getting there. We're getting there.
Excellent.
And when I
Excellent.
was here before, Chris, we would have quite a few sellouts. I mean, we'd have a lot of good crowds. And of course, at the time, when I played here, we won a lot of games.
Mhm.
We had an 80 game. The Lamar had basketball had an 80-game home court winning streak, which still stands today as the seventh longest home court winning streak in college basketball. So
Right.
we've won a lot. And so, I just want to get the energy back to where it was, connect with the community like we had in the past. And we got a lot of kids and families and people in the community coming to games. And we're doing our part and showing them some exciting basketball. We won our game Monday night, 98-73. It's always nice to win, but it's hard to put up 98 points in a conference game because they're usually
Right.
pretty tight. But we played well at night, and so we got to get ready for the next one because every conference game is a fight, man. And we've got good coaches in our league, good players, and so it's not going to be easy. We know that we've been blessed and fortunate. We got to keep it going.
Shifting gears within these final minutes, speaking with Alvin Brooks, Lamar head coach of men's basketball, and hopefully joining me once I'm finished with Coach Brooks and Coach Brooks finished with me is Rice South head coach Scott Pera. talk about Rice's win over Memphis Wednesday night. But coach,
Big win for Scott, man. Congrats to him.
yes,
Big win.
Houston at Kansas Saturday afternoon. What are your thoughts on the matchup, the styles? Well, first, how many times have you been at Allen Fieldhouse?
A few times, because I've coached in the Big 12 for a while. I coached in the Big 12 when I was at Texas Tech,
Hmm.
and so I coached in the Big 12 when I was at Texas A&M for the 3 years. And we actually won when I was at A&M in Allen Fieldhouse,
Okay.
and we came from behind and won. And one of the few teams that won there. We had AC Law, Joseph Jones. We had a good team. And Bill, for one of the few times in his career, Bill Self had a young team, and they were
Yeah.
good. They were a tournament team, but they were young. And so we kind of took advantage of that. We were a little older. And but that is a very, very difficult place to play. But if there's anybody that can ever be prepared and have a team prepared to go into Allen Fieldhouse and win, it would be Kelvin Sampson. He has been there many times from his days at Oklahoma, and he was at Oklahoma when I was at A&M, the Big 12. He's coached against Bill. He's coached at Allen Fieldhouse. And that's going to be a raucous environment. But, Houston's got the team. They're older. J1 Roberts, who was there when I was there, Jamal Shedd was there. They're older now. They kind of know what they're doing. They know the culture, the program. They won't be intimidated. They're going to do what they do. They're going to guard like crazy, defend like crazy, and rebound the basketball at a high level, operate efficiently, offensively. And it's one of them games, man. You better put your combat boots on and your helmet on. It is going to be a war. It's going to be a great game to watch. And it's going to be a fast-paced, exciting game, very competitive. So, I think you could say, Houston has their hands full. Kansas is going to have their hands full.
Right.
It's just going to be one of those games. So it's going to be a tough game, but it'll be a
Now,
good one to watch.
Coach Sampson told us, because he spoke to us an hour ago, he mentioned that he has not won at Allen Fieldhouse yet in his career. That kind
Oof.
of surprised me. I was like, really?
Well, that is a very, very difficult place to play now.
Yeah.
I mean, that place gets so loud you can't hear.
Hmm.
And it's an old traditional program. Their fan support is good as there is. And they always have teams that are good enough to match. So it'll be interesting because one of the strength of Bill's team, he likes to throw the ball to the post. He's got Hunter Dickinson, who's
Right.
one of the best post players. Well, the strength of Kelvin Sampson's defense is post defense
Right.
and post traps. So how Bill adjusts to the post traps, how Coach Sampson adjusts to and I'm sure I know he's got a great plan. That'll be key. But in watching Houston play, he plays bigger lineup. Sometimes he can play a small ball lineup. That's a dangerous team. Like you have to game plan and prepare for different things against them, and that's difficult to do. I kind of like where they sit, and it's going to be a great atmosphere, a great game. So be very competitive, as I mentioned. So be fun to watch.
Would you agree? I've said this on some of our post game shows. Unless you faced Houston, that first time is always difficult because you never faced them before. That defense. Would you agree with that?
Oh, it's 100% correct. I don't think people understand. You can watch it on TV. You can watch it on film. You can sit there and watch it in the stands. But I'm just telling you, until you actually play against it, you can't. It's hard to simulate it in practice
Mhm.
if you're the opposing coach. Unless you practice and play like that daily, you can't simulate how hard he prepares his team to not just play but compete. His Coach Sampson teams are elite at multiple efforts, not just an effort, multiple efforts. And so that's kind of what separates them from a lot of folks, a lot of teams. And so now it's kind of like when Nolan Richardson, which is a totally different style, but when he was at Arkansas and he had the 40 minutes of hell, his full
Mhm.
court pressure and the way they played. And I got a chance to coach against him when I was at Houston. Film just didn't do justice until you played against them. The speed and quickness with which they have, speed and quickness with which Houston plays with, the tenacity with which they go after rebounds, how they defend, I don't think he ever gets enough credit for how good they are offensively. I mean, they run a crisp, sharp offense, and they take care of the ball. He gets shots for the guys. He wants the best shooters, best players. He always has some good after timeout actions to get his guys looks. It's going to be a good contest. It's going to be a really good contest. And I figured they were going to the Big 12 ready to compete. This was
Right.
going to be I had a chance to watch them practice in July. I brought my staff over there, and I thought they were a little young on the front line.
Mhm.
And I thought they would develop over time, which they are developing. JoJo Tugler's coming along. I knew J1 would be good. He's been in a program for a while. Jamal will be good. Some of the other guys are buying in. So, they kind of right where they want to be, going into the second half of conference play, down the stretch, getting ready for March.
Coach Alvin Brooks, thank you, Coach. I could talk hoops with you all day long.
Yeah.
But thank you very much, because this kind of short notice for you joining me today, and I appreciate it. Good luck to you this Saturday. And if you don't mind, let's do it again in the second half of the season, which is, soon, right around the corner.
Don't mind at all, Chris. Always love talking to you. I always enjoy talking hoops, but especially love talking to you, and look forward to talking to you again here soon, man.
All right, Coach, you take care.
Okay, thanks, here. All right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Going to bring in Rice Owls head coach, Scott Pera. It's Chris, very short notice for you to join me, because this was late night when I thought about, well, they just won at Memphis. Let's see if Coach can come on today. So,
yeah.
How are you, Coach?
I'm doing good, Chris. Thanks for having me. Happy to come on.
My pleasure. I don't know how to say this, because when I saw you guys play Saturday against Tulsa, the way the game ended, all the frustrations, all kind of stuff, but I got a sense personally, this is me personally, I got a sense Rice is going to give Memphis trouble. Now, lo and behold, I wasn't going to say I thought y'all would win last night, Coach, to be honest, but I thought y'all compete and give them difficulties. And y'all did more than that. Y'all won the game. So your thoughts on the vibe after Tulsa Saturday, leading up to Wednesday, going to Memphis and beating Memphis?
Well, look, you were there Saturday, and you saw and you could sense my frustration. And that was a difficult way for a game to end, and unfortunate for our kids, and especially to battle back like we did, showed some tremendous resiliency and grit. And so what I asked them as we prepared for Memphis is to show some more growth. Let's show more growth. Let's see if we get this to another close game down the stretch and find a way to win it. Don't put it in anybody else's hands but our own. And I thought we really were sharp in the first half defensively, as good as a defensive half as we've played all year, holding them to 22 on their home floor. And in the second half, we weathered the storm. They made their run, and our kids didn't panic, and made huge plays down the stretch, and made some free throws, and got out of there with just a really, really, really big win for us.
What was the vibe in the locker room after the win?
I mean, a lot of happy kids, and that's what it's all about. I've had a lot of tough ones, heads hanging and tears and frustration, and what we've gone through these last 3 weeks have been an incredible roller coaster, and just a lot of pure joy for those guys, knowing how hard it is to win in Memphis, doing it in that really cool environment of the NBA arena, and beating a respected program of decades, of all they've done, the tradition they have, and so it was a heck of an exciting time in the locker room.
I saw freshman Keanu Dawes hit 2 clutch free throws in the closing moments. How has he continued to progress this freshman season?
Well, look, that was a big one for Keanu. I'm really happy for him. He's had his struggles, and he's trying like crazy to find ways to contribute. He has done some things offensively that don't show up in the box score that I've been encouraged about in terms of his movement and spacing and screening. And then last night he hit some shots early, and I think that got a bounce in his step. And boy, late we needed those two. And he stepped in the line in a hostile environment and made two that should really, boost his confidence and show him now, how important he is to what we do. And down the stretch here, really be a major contributor. We're hoping.
Now, what did Max accomplish last night for the first time in 30 years? What was it?
Look, we're still researching. It could possibly be for the first time in the history of college basketball. Tim's gone back 30 years. I think we're continuing to go back. But 1,000 career points, 1,000 career rebounds, 500 career assists, 100 career blocks, and 100 career steals. It's almost unfathomable. I mean,
yeah.
If somebody else did it, he did it a long time ago, and we're still trying to dig. But it's an amazing accumulation of numbers.
Indeed, and he's a great player, but he's even a better person.
I mean, and look, my favorite part of the post game was when I said that to the team. The joy of his teammates for him. Max is the most unassuming, unselfish, don't put the spotlight on me person I've ever coached. And I thought that was cool how much his teammates respect him, and for them to react that way was fun.
Because I remember you telling me that at times you wish you'd take more shots.
many times.
What is you think it's going to be any difficulty getting the team to refocus, because you got a game on Saturday, so.
I mean, it's college basketball. Obviously now we got to get back on the road and get on a bus tomorrow and go to San Antonio. But, I think the guys feel good about where we are. We need to have a great day today of preparation and practice. Try not to be too heavy on their legs so that we have a fresh minds on Saturday. We know UTSA is a very, very dangerous team. They beat us in overtime the first time. So hopefully our guys we have a mature group. And just a matter of making sure we're in the right frame of mind and ready to go Saturday at 2.
Has anything in the American in conference play surprised you so far?
Not a whole lot. I mean, it's a lot of really good teams and coaches and tons of good players. And, that's what we expected coming in. So I followed the American for years. I've, obviously my relationship with Kelvin and us playing them as well, watching those guys and you just follow college basketball, the tradition of these schools, of the Wichita States and the Temples, and look how South Florida's playing this year. And, what the transfer portal does. And I know the teams we brought into the league and from our league are really tough. I mean, look what Charlotte's doing and UAB, North Texas. I mean, so it's just a really tough league, but we knew it would be. And so I'm not that surprised. I just know how hard it is.
And before I let you go, as a coach, what are your thoughts on the Houston-Kansas matchup this Saturday afternoon?
Boy, I wish I could watch it, is my first thought. It is going to be, one of those, analogies, right? A heavyweight battle. But I have such, great respect being so close here to Houston and forming a relationship and friendship with Coach Sampson, that they are just so fun for me to watch. And I think all coaches, I heard Alvin saying it at the end, I think all coaches appreciate how hard the Cougars play, how much they are bought in to each other, to their culture, to their coach. And it's going to be a great game. Obviously, Kansas at home is notoriously really, really difficult to beat. But I can tell you this, I won't be surprised in the least if Houston wins the game.
Rice Owls head coach Scott Pera. Coach, thank you very much for taking time on a short notice to talk with me today on the show. Congrats again on winning at Memphis Wednesday night, and good luck on Saturday.
Thanks, Chris. Always a pleasure, and happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. Take care, Coach.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you very much to have two coaches who I've known for a long, long time join me on the show. Going to take a break here. The bottom of the hour, well, it's past bottom of the hour of the Houston Roundball Review TAKEOVER, powered by JM&E. you are watching the show on Facebook, YouTube, Fire TV, Twitch, and of course on Roku via the BS3 network. So the spot, be back in 90 seconds to wrap it up and talk more hoops.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Welcome back to the Houston Roundball Review TAKEOVER on the lunch break, powered by JM&E and also the BS3 network on Roku. If you have a Roku streaming device, just download BS3 TV. If you don't, go to bs3network.com or bs3tvlive.com. I am KG Chris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. Thanks again to Lamar head coach Alvin Brooks and Rice head coach Scott Perry for joining me on the show. Rex32, thank you for the compliment. This one and this one, thank you for this as well. Appreciate it. These final few minutes of the show, rapid fire with two coaches on. Got to get to the schedules for the H-Town teams real quick. We all know talked about it, Coach Brooks and Coach Perry. Men's hoops, Houston at Kansas, 3 o'clock on ESPN. Oh, let me say this. Full screen. If you are in H-Town, if you are in the Heights area this Saturday afternoon on location, join me and Andy Yanez. We're going to do the Let's Rage Cougs post-game show after the Cougs Kansas game from Star Pizza. Yes, that's right. On location. The show and the platform is growing. So join us this Saturday afternoon, the Harvard location, Star Pizza, Let's Rage Cougs post-game show as we talk about the Cougs Kansas matchup. Look forward to that. Women's hoops, UH women coming off a 54-46 win over Cincinnati Bearcats, another newcomer to the Big 12. UH women are 3-7 in conference, 12-9 overall. You see the Cougs remaining schedule for men's basketball. Look at that, right on top. 10 games left conference-wise. Kansas, 3 o'clock. KU, 13 the net. That's a quad one. Coach Sampson won't look past it, but I'm going to. Next matchup, February 6th, Oklahoma State. The lone quad 3 game left on the schedule for the Cougs. Cowboys are 144 on the net. Cincinnati on the road, another Q1 opportunity. The Horns, Longhorns, Q2 at 40 because it's a home game. If it's on the road, like Monday's win, it was Q1. But home game, Q2 opportunity. Iowa State, Q1, 10th in the net. Baylor in Waco, Q1, 16 in the net. Man, I love the Big 12. The Bearcats again, Q2, 34 net. Going to Oklahoma. That should be interesting. Coach Sampson going back to Norman. That'll be fun on March 2nd. Then UCF on the road in Orlando. UCF already won in Orlando, beating Kansas. And they wrap it up on Senior Day. Houston, Kansas, March 9th, the last game of the regular season before the Big 12 men's tournament starts on March 12th, I think. HCU, men's basketball in the Southland Conference, just like Lamar, 5-14 overall, 3-5 in conference play. Women's basketball, Huskies, winless in conference play at 0-8. Injuries, illness, struggles to make shots. They're going through it. But both teams host on the road, versus Nichols this Saturday. Women first at 1 o'clock, then followed by the men at 3:30. Both games on ESPN Plus. Prairie View A&M, it's the matchup, the rivalry this weekend. PV-TSU on the hill at Prairie View, 3 o'clock, ladies first, followed by the men. The games will be on PV Athletics YouTube channel. Watch it that way. Rice, we talked about Rice's big win for the men over Memphis, 74-71. Rice women won last night. Fourth quarter comeback to improve to 6-3 in conference play. Both teams on the road this Saturday. Ladies first at Florida Atlantic, 12 o'clock on ESPN Plus. As Coach Parra said, they're at UTSA, 2 o'clock on ESPN Plus. Touched on it, TSU, going on the road to the hill at Prairie View. TSU men, 5-3 in the SWAC. TSU women, 3-5 in the SWAC. So there we go with that. Got to get to it, as I always do, in this first season of Houston being in the Big 12. Let's talk about it. Let me see if I can get the info right here. The schedule. Big 12 men's basketball this weekend. We know the matchup that everybody in H-Town cares about. But everybody else is in action on Saturday. For the men, Texas, Longhorns are 3-5 in conference play. They need to win at TCU on Saturday. And that's not easy to do because Texas, 3-6. Personally, I'm not on the committee, but I participated in some of the mock selections for the tournament. I don't like a team under 500 in conference, maybe beyond, let's see, Big 12 has 18 conference games. I'd accept 8-10 conference record. 7-11, 6-12, those teams to me are not worthy of being in the tournament, even despite how great the conference is. So 8-10, I'd accept. 7-11, I don't know about that, but I'd say no, Rex. After his second year really as a head coach, I'd hate to think that he'd be on the hot seat already. At least give him the first year in the SEC next season. Then we let them talk about all that. But K-State, 4-4 in the Big 12. Got to win it in Stillwater on Saturday. Oklahoma State, they're so young, 1-7 in conference play. That third matchup, we all talked about it. Houston at Kansas. Everyone in basketball in this area is looking forward to that game. 3 o'clock on ESPN. Oklahoma at UCF. Sooners 4-4 in conference. UCF got to protect home court. They need that win. 3 o'clock on Big 12 now on ESPN Plus. Cincinnati 3-5 in Big 12. Going to Lubbock. The Bearcats need to get a win. Gonna be tough as hell to win in Lubbock. Texas Tech got their second loss in conference play this past week, a few days ago. They're 5 o'clock on Big 12 now on ESPN Plus. BYU at West Virginia. The Mountaineers, their team is whole now, and they begin to win games in conference play. They're 3-5 in the Big 12. That game also 5 o'clock, Big 12 now on ESPN Plus. And last but not least, the last game on the docket. Look at this, man. Look at this. Iowa State at Baylor. Iowa State, 10 in the net. Baylor, 16 in the net. Iowa State, 5-2 in conference play. Baylor, 4-3. That game on ESPN2. Man, I love Cougs being in Big 12. As a basketball person, I just love it. Just love it. Women's basketball net rankings. Rex, you see where the Cougs are now. They're 1-1. They were 1-3 last week, so moved up a little bit to 1-1. Tonight, schedule. Texas Baylor matchup tonight, women's basketball on ESPN. Both teams have 3 conference losses. Not sure if Texas freshman Madison Booker, one of the best freshmen in the country, will play tonight. She missed the last game because of a hamstring injury, hamstring issue. It wasn't really announced how serious her injury is, so we'll see if she can play tonight. But Texas Baylor, big game. And it's the only women's conference game on ESPN this conference season. I've been doing it. Yeah, Rex. I feel you on that one. Cougs women's team last, and they're 1-1 in the net, which is not bad. I mean, I think Rice is like 97, but for Houston in the Big 12, it's the worst ranking of all the other Big 12 schools. Life is hard in the Big 12, and again, the 4 newcomers have the last 4 net rankings in the Big 12 for Big 12 women's basketball. Such is life. But here's the schedule. Yesterday, they lost. The Cougs lost 92-87 in overtime last Saturday in Orlando. That was UCF's first Big 12 win. The Cougs. So UCF got their first Big 12 win against Houston. Yeah. But this Saturday, 5 games on the docket for women's basketball in the Big 12. Sunday, 2 games. And Sunday, look at it, Rex. That last one, that bottom one, Baylor comes to town, comes to Fertitta, facing the Cougs. Baylor's record will change because they play Texas tonight. But the game tips off 2 o'clock. Game can be seen on Big 12 Now on ESPN+. I'll have some friends who are Baylor alums will be there. Looking forward to seeing them. Met them way back when, in the days of the Houston Comets, when the Comets were in town and winning championship those first 4 seasons in the WNBA. But you see it, Iowa State, first game on Saturday in the Big 12, 11 o'clock at UCF. Coach Bill Finley's team, Iowa State, one of the youngest teams in the country. 7-3 in the Big 12. Audie Crooks, freshman center, one of the top freshmen in the conference, putting up big numbers like 25 and 9 or 10 game to game now in conference play. Going to be a tough game for UCF to win. But guard Kaylin Peterson, she gets her points for UCF. Needs more help. Texas Tech at Cincinnati, 1 o'clock, Big 12 Now on ESPN+. The newcomers are going to struggle. They continue to struggle. Oklahoma at Oklahoma State. Bedlam. Oklahoma coming off a 3-point win over Kansas State Wednesday night. And at Kansas State, its first loss in conference play Wednesday night. But Bedlam, 4 o'clock. Sooners at the Cowgirls. West Virginia, 18-2. Overall, 7-2 in conference play at BYU. I'm going to stop right there. We shall see in these final minutes of the Houston Roundball Review TAKEOVER, powered by JM&E. West Virginia against Houston and against Cincinnati allowed 0 points in the first quarter in those 2 games. So will BYU be one of the 4 newcomers to score a point in the first quarter against West Virginia? We shall see. But yes, 0. West Virginia held the Bearcats 0 and Houston scoreless in first quarters of those 2 matchups. Yee. But reminder, the Houston Cougars men's basketball team on the road this Saturday, 3 o'clock, ESPN against the Kansas Jayhawks. Word is Kel McCullough for KU will play. He did not play Jayhawks game earlier this week, but he's supposed to play this Saturday. Looking forward to the matchup between Hunter Dickinson, the skilled big man for KU, against the Cougars' monster defensive traps in the post. Will Hunter face up more, spend more time on the perimeter? He's a skilled passer, can also shoot from the outside. Looking forward to the Jamal Shed, Dwan Harris point guard matchup. There's so much going on this Saturday. Cougs at Kansas. We're going to do the post-game show, Let's Red Cougs at Star Pizza. Follow me on the platforms for more info. Houston Roundball Review on Instagram, TikTok, Spoutable. Twitter is the HR Review, but it's already been out there posted on the platforms. Join us this Saturday for Let's Red Cougs, the original post-game show for Houston football and men's basketball. Going to be on location with Star Pizza as we discuss the Cougs Jayhawks matchup. Looking forward to that as always. Miss Wanda, thank you very much. Rex, thank you as well. A few more minutes before I shut it down. Rockets got beaten up on the boards last night by the New Orleans Pelicans. Pels, I think, had 56 rebounds to the Rockets' 29. The Pels won the game 110-99. Jabari Smith, Rex. Jabari Smith, 0 points. He was over 6 from the floor. And he only had 1 rebound. 1. That's only 1 more than me. And I didn't play. He played, I think, 22 minutes. 1 rebound. Alper Sengun got bullied by Jonas Valanciunas last night. So we'll see if the Rockets can bounce back Friday night at home against the Toronto Raptors. Yeah, the Rockets routed the Lakers on Monday. Lakers defense is just a rumor. It's just a rumor, a bad rumor at that. Their defense is really, 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 really bad. And the Rockets took advantage of that. But Jalen Green, another strong game from him. So maybe he's turned things around consistently. But it's always going to, well, tonight, Thursday night, have another Let's Talk Houston Rockets show, 9 o'clock Central, on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. Thank you, as always, everyone watching the show on Facebook, Twitch, Fire TV, Musk, YouTube, and, of course, on Roku via the BS3 Network. I am KG Chris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. And always remember, never forget this, the Houston Roundball Review, since 1994, local name, global perspective. Take care. Peace.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. Today, it's Thursday, February 1st, 2024. Number 1, United States service members killed in a weekend drone attack have been identified and celebrated. The What You Need to Know newsletter wanted to put faces to the daughters, son, siblings, and friends lost in service to their country. The U.S. Army Reserve announced that the 2 women killed in the drone attack over the weekend were elevated in rank posthumously, from specialist to sergeant. Check out today's newsletter for their stories. Number 2, Alice Dunnigan and Ethel L. Payne, the first Black women to cover the White House, are now being recognized for their groundbreaking contributions to journalism. In a historic move, Karine Jean-Pierre, the first Black woman to serve as White House press secretary, dedicated a new lectern in the White House briefing room to commemorate these trailblazing reporters. Alice Dunnigan is remembered for her pioneering spirit, while Ethel L. Payne became known as the First Lady of the Black press, covering pivotal moments in the civil rights movement. Number 3, the weight loss landscape has dramatically shifted thanks to prescription weight loss options. Injectable drugs and pill options approved for weight loss has dominated public discourse. If you're considering prescription weight loss methods, the What You Need to Know newsletter, along with our partners at Black Health Matters, give you the pros and cons of your different options. Number 4, a church in Ohio whose pastor was criminally charged for allowing unhoused people to sleep at the church has filed a federal lawsuit on the grounds of religious discrimination. Dad's Place is located in Bryan, Ohio, about an hour outside of Toledo. Last year, the church began to offer temporary housing for people living on the street. The city ordered the church to stop, citing zoning and safety concerns, but the pastor, Chris Avell, refused. Number 5, members of the DeKalb County School Board voted against including mental health initiatives as part of their legislative priorities, sparking concerns about the future of mental health resources in schools. This comes after members of the board voted earlier this month to remove mental health initiatives from its list of legislative priorities. One licensed therapist said, when we look at the suicides we've had, the attempts, not only by students but adults, mental health has to always be a priority. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Living with intention requires dedication and commitment. Join me today live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central with our executive producer, Yolanda Starks-White, and our mental health contributor, Aprilette Russell, as we discuss today's top headlines and more. I'm Sybil Wilkes. Be informed, be empowered.